Look at this weather for the 19th of November. 47 degrees, not much wind, which is usually a factor here at the Meadowlands Giant Stadium. It's cloudy, but this is about as nice as you could hope for this time of year in this stadium. All right, the offensive line, and what a job that Tony Wise has done with this group. And in particular, two rookies, Nick Mangold at center, and then DeBrickashaw Ferguson, who was the 4th overall pick at left tackle. They've done a nice job. And the backs and receivers last week, Troy, was a good week and the best week for Kevin Barlow carrying the ball.
Well, it was, yeah. He started the season off. He was the guy who carried the bulk of the load. And then about week 5, Leon Washington, the rookie, took over. But Kevin Barlow got back in the action last week against New England, primarily because of the poor surface there.
Chad Pennington and company. A handoff is to Washington, and the rookie gets to the edge and is forced out after gaining 9.5. Danielle Manning on the stop, and Washington, as Lance Briggs got dinged up on that first play from scrimmage. And now it's 2nd down and less than a yard for the Jets. Their bigger back, Barlow. Behind Pennington. And on 2nd and 1, it's Barlow who is brought down in the backfield. It was Todd Johnson, the safety, up to make the stop. A loss of 1 on the play, and it brings up 3rd down. Here's the defensive line. And this is a group, Troy, this is one of those rare defenses that can get pressure with their front 4. They don't have to blitz if they don't need to.
Well, that's right. I mean, a number of their sacks come from their front 4. It's a very athletic group, yet they have enough size inside with Tank Johnson and Tommy Harris to still be able to play the run effectively.
And a reverse to Dwight. Tim Dwight with his great speed into Bears territory, down inside the 35. 29 yards on a reverse on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that it works is because Alex Brown, the defensive end, he has great speed coming off the edge, but he comes flat. He's expecting an inside handoff, but because he did come so flat, he did not contain the outside. Once Tim Dwight got to the outside, there was nobody that he really had to beat because Alex Brown was already taken out of the play.
That was the longest run by a Jet this season. And on 1st down, a handoff is to Barlow. Not much over the right side, back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. So, Troy, let's talk about the Jets a little more. They beat New England last week. They beat him for the first time since 2002. Chad Pennington outplayed Tom Brady in that 2nd half, and as you said in our opening, it started to validate what they've been putting together here the first part of the season. And now looking ahead, you know, they, with their schedule, have a lot to be excited about.
They do. It validates what a new head coach is trying to do. Eric Mangini, when you win a game like that on the road against a tough divisional opponent, you'd be amazed at the confidence you get then as a team.
Pennington drops it down to Barlow. Penalty flag on the reception, and you can hear the microphone of the umpire, who ended up down on that play. Here's the umpire.
You know, there's been a lot of debate in recent years about the positioning there of the umpire because of these West Coast offenses and these crossing routes. They never expected a running back to completely gore the umpire in the chest. Next year, the umpires are going to be going saying, hey, get me out of here.
Oh, Carl's going to be sore tomorrow. 2nd down and 20. Pennington, quick setup and throw, and he hits Coles. Coles smacked after a gain of 10. And it'll be 3rd down for the Jets.
You know, Eric Mangini, he brought in a first-time offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, who had been with the San Diego Chargers. One of the things that have been implemented here with the New York Jets is this no-huddle offense. Most of the time when you go to a no huddle, you only have about a half a dozen plays at your arsenal. But in this system, Chad Pennington can call any play that's in their playbook at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 10. And a handoff to Washington. He goes nowhere. Swallowed up by Urlacher and Brown. A loss of 2. And it will be 4th down. And now a decision as Eric Mangini will send his punt unit onto the field. Ben Graham will check in. Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands. 1st down for the Bears and play action from Grossman. Pass is complete to Thomas Jones out of the backfield. A safe throw and a gain of 3. And Jones ended up banging into our camera cart down along the sideline. Big week last week for Thomas Jones, and his offensive line did a nice job in front of him. And Troy, the guy playing the best is Olin Kreutz. Year in and year out, this is the guy that headlines the offensive line.
5-time Pro Bowler. He's the leader of this group, and that entire offensive line has played exceptional this season.
2nd down and 7. And the handoff is to Jones. Nice little cut back and a move.
Has not played that many games, and yet he's playing at a very high level. I think Rex Grossman would tell you the same thing. The lack of playing time is not what has led to some of the inconsistencies.
3rd down and 3, and the pass is too high for Davis. 4th down for Chicago, since he took over as the starter here with New York in 2002. Handoff is to Washington, right up the gut. 1st down at the 40.
You know, the Bears like to bring a lot of pressure. Ricky Manning right here, he's going to come off the edge, and the Jets just have the right call on. You're going to see the handoff right underneath all that. And the one thing the Bears have struggled with this season is stopping the run, especially the last 3 games.
Jets get to the line quickly and hand off again to Washington. Putting together a very good rookie year, and Leon picks up 5.
You know, when you talk about the Bears defense and some of the struggles, I mean, they're good in just about every other category, but Plexico holding them only to 4 receptions.
This is Cedric Houston. And Houston picks up 2. Ricky Manning on the stop. 3rd down for the Jets. So the Bears, while they lose Tillman for a while, who knows how long, have Ricky Manning Jr. they can bring in, and he's been a nice addition to this Bears team. Quick paced offense for the Jets. Pennington lofts it. Kachuri has it go through his hands, and it was the rookie Danielle Manning who was back there for the Bears.
Jericho Kachuri is really having himself a good season this year, not having played much his first 2 years. He gets a little bit of a step. Ball just a little bit underthrown. Some pretty good action underneath in order to give the one-on-one matchup with Kachuri on the rookie.
The last possession.
You know, as we talked about this Jets offense running the no-huddle offense, and then defensively, Brian Urlacher, he's the guy who gets everybody lined up and makes the adjustments and the calls for that defense, and he's having a great year. In fact, he's had a lot of great years.
Handoff is to Jones. Nice run, Thomas Jones, and he is dragged down at the 28, a gain of 13 yards. Eric Coleman on the stop. And how tired are you of reading about how overrated Brian Urlacher is? I know Lovie Smith is, because he is the heart and soul right in the middle of the league's #1 defense.
Yeah, and what did Lovie Smith tell us the other day? He said, whatever the highest honor is you can pay to a player, that's what I would say about Brian Urlacher. He's the franchise, and he's the face of this team.
A real leader. 2nd down and 2. A lot of Thomas Jones, and why not? Off to a hot start, picks up 5 and a first down. Andre Dyson on the tackle for the Jets.
You know, Thomas Jones, he really is an impressive back. I think people fail to realize he was a 7th overall pick back in 2000 by the Arizona Cardinals. He's got great quickness, and he's got great vision. You see there, he just slides out to his right, and because of his quickness and burst, he's still able to get into the hole and pick up good yardage.
Bears have run 8 plays. Thomas Jones has touched it 7 times, including this play on the throw and completion. Quick tackle by Victor Hobson, a loss of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 12.
Now, this offensive line also for the Chicago Bears playing very, very well. Their offensive line coach, Harry Hiestand, came in last year when Ron Turner was named offensive coordinator. The two of them worked at Illinois University when Ron Turner was the head coach. Prior to Harry Hiestand coming in, this was an offensive line that gave up 66 sacks. Last year he cut that in half, only gave up 31.
2nd down and 12. Grossman in trouble, finds Muhammad, and he's got nowhere to go. First guy there was Eric Barton, our first game break, and that means Chris Rose will talk at you. Chris.
Hello, Joe. Down in the bayou, Saints with a little trickery. Flea flicker, Drew Brees, look at this perfect throw to Joe Horn. 72 yards, his longest catch in 7 years, has tied the game against the Bengals. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
Well, it looks to me like Drew Brees' shoulders well, and that's a pretty big ball game down there in New Orleans between those two teams. Cincinnati, a tough loss last week. The Saints lose, need to get back on track.
Quick throw, and it's batted down. Ellis celebrating after getting his hands up, and it's 4th down for Chicago.
And then they lost to Cleveland, a game in which they probably should have won that game also.
On 1st down, Lavernius Coles makes a move, has a 1st down for the Jets. Knocked out of bounds by Johnson. 14-yard completion to Lavernius Coles.
You know, in talking with Chad Pennington as well as Eric Mangini, both of those guys said the biggest key for us in this game is going to be not turning the ball over. The Bears have forced at least 2 turnovers in every game this year.
Quick snap. Houston again. Cedric. Picked up 9.5. It depends on the spot. Looks to be a little short of a 1st down, but we'll see where they lay it down. It's 2nd down and inches.
To follow up on that, and they're going to throw the ball quick. They're going to run the ball a lot here today and just try to play the field position game.
Houston again, 1st down Jets into Chicago territory. And all of a sudden, Cedric Houston, who's been active for only 2 games prior to this one, has been a part of the offense here in the 1st quarter. That was good for 4.
You know, what I like right now is this is a very fast defensive team of the Chicago Bears, and when the Jets have run the ball, I mean, they've done a good job at just running it right at them and not trying to outrun anybody to the sideline.
The word on Tillman, by the way, no concussion, just banged up. He's still on the sideline. Sets up, finds Coles. Lavernius Coles is brought down by Vasher, a gain of 6. Coles started this day with 51 catches, and Manning is, or rather Pennington has looked his way.
You know, you take a look at the relationship here with Nathan Vasher and then Lavernius Coles. That's twice now on this possession. Nathan Vasher, respecting the speed of Lavernius Coles, is staying deep, and that's allowed them to complete some easy balls to the outside. This time he's up in press.
2nd down and 4. Washington carries it, and he's brought down by Briggs. That'll bring up 3rd down, a loss of 3 as Lance Briggs came through and made the play in the backfield.
You know, Lance Briggs, I know he oftentimes gets overshadowed by Brian Urlacher, but Lance Briggs, I know going into last season, Lovie Smith said that he fully expected him to have a year to where he became a household name. And he had a great year, made his first Pro Bowl. I don't know that he's a household name yet across America, but he certainly is a household name among NFL people.
3rd down and 6. Pennington fires and completes to Brad Smith. Smith has enough for a 1st down. It's been stopping the run. They miss Mike Brown, the strong safety who went down in the Arizona game. Handoff is to Houston again. Right through this defense, and Cedric Houston has enough for another 1st down. All of a sudden, the Bears can't stop the run.
Well, watch the fullback here, James Hodgins, who's playing for B.J. Askew. He leads the way, and then you see the cut right off of that by Cedric Houston. He follows his lead blocker into the hole, and then as soon as the contact's going to be made with the linebacker, he makes the cut. Some good vision right there by Cedric Houston.
Askew out with a foot injury, inactive today. A toss to Leon Washington, and he is swallowed up by Urlacher. Urlacher and Briggs were out there for Chicago, and a loss of 4 on that toss to Leon Washington.
Yeah, and here's why it didn't work. Nathan Basher, you don't find many corners who are going to come in and force the issue like he does. 31, he takes on Hodgins, the fullback, and as soon as Leon Washington has to leave his feet, the play's over. That's one thing about Lovie Smith corners. Wherever he has been, they've been physical tacklers.
Son Tillman come back into the action. 2nd and 14. Houston again. 3rd down coming up as Cedric gets it to the 25, picked up 6. Briggs another tackle, and he's been busy in this 1st half.
Yeah, and you talk about the problems that the Bears have had in run defense. That's really the only thing about their defense that they have struggled. They're giving up over 4 yards a carry in the running game. Have given up 3 straight 100-yard rushers in recent weeks.
3rd down and 8. Quick setup and throw, and it's Dwight over the middle. 1st down at the 10.
Just a good play right there. Tim Dwight gets into the hole in that zone defense. You know, again, we're seeing the Jets keeping the Bears off balance defensively, running the ball, and then quick short passes.
Hand off to Houston. Houston picks up half a yard, brought down by Alex Brown, the first one to get his hands on him.
You know, you just wonder if the pace of play by the New York Jets is throwing the Chicago defense off a little bit. It's not necessarily something that they haven't seen before. A lot of teams now are going to no-huddle situations, but they're running at a pretty good pace, and I think it's been hard for this defense to get in any type of rhythm of their own. Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator, first-time offensive coordinator, has done a good job with this offense all season.
2nd down and goal, and the handoff. Barlow had a rushing touchdown last week against the Patriots. Good for 4 there. Johnson on the tackle, 3rd and goal.
You know, I asked Mangini why he hired Brian Schottenheimer to be his offensive coordinator. He said he wanted someone to come in and bring in an offensive system that was from the family of the San Diego, Kansas City, St. Louis systems, because it's the offenses that gave him problems the most when he was a defensive coach.
Third down and goal. Pennington over the middle, picked off by Urlacher. Brian Urlacher with the interception and the return out across the 30. A rare red zone mistake for Chad Pennington. Something he has been very good with in his career with the Jets. Threw it. Urlacher tipped it to himself, hung on. The interception, and the Bears take over. 28th takeaway of the season for the Bears defense, #1 in the NFL. The handoff to Benson. And Cedric Benson is good for 7, and we go back to the interception.
Yeah, take a look at Coles here. Looked like he might have had a shot right to the corner of the end zone had Chad Pennington have seen him, but he was not working that side of the field. He comes back, He's working inside, and as you're going to see, Brian Urlacher just reading his eyes the entire way and gets a good break on it. And that's the guy that Chad Pennington just is unable to see.
Then at the end of the play, Lavernius Coles telling Pennington he was open. The interception, and now a handoff to Benson. And Benson, who has been held on the bench for the most part, is good for 14 yards. Thomas Jones has kept Cedric Benson on the bench, and there are the numbers for Pennington. Only 2 interceptions now in his career in the red zone.
Yeah, he's been historically outstanding down in the red zone. I think that to go back to the Lavernius Coles, down in the red zone, everything happens so quick that it's impossible to see everybody on the field. You almost have to predetermine where you're going with the ball.
Grossman with time over the middle finds a wide open Berrien, who gets hit by Chatham. Berrien had it and dropped it.
You know, Bernard Berrien did not play last week. He had rib problems. Said it felt better. He's giving it a shot today, and you just wonder, with this ball a little high, does that put a strain there on his ribs? Certainly a ball that he should have caught, but this secondary for the Jets, a young group, you just wonder how a guy like Bernard Berrien can get so wide open back there.
This possession has Benson in a tailback, and Cedric gets it. Picks up 5. And now Chatham and Desmond Clark get into it after the play. No flags are thrown. 3rd down for Chicago. Don't forget, you can join us on Thanksgiving. We'll be in Dallas for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. On the air at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. 3rd and 5, Chicago. A blitz. Grossman hangs in and throws it to no one. Rasheed Davis, the closest one to it, and it's 4th down. Back they were unsure of at the start of the year, coming off rotator cuff surgery. No Curtis Martin, and a rookie head coach. That one incomplete for James Hodgins, and here are the Jets 5-4, and only a game out of first place in the AFC East.
Yeah, and then you say rookie head coach and rookie offensive coordinator, and then they got rookie center Nick Mangold and rookie left defensive tackle DeBrickashaw Ferguson. Both guys actually have played very well, but you don't see that very often. 2 rookies starting playing as well as what these 2 have.
2nd down and 10. Quick throw. Lavernius Coles trying to make a move, and he got hit hard by Hunter Hillenmeyer. A gain of 7.
You know, you go back to that previous possession by the New York Jets. This Bears defense has held every single opponent this year under 300 yards of total offense. So you're not going to put together a lot of long drives. You get down there in the red zone, and when you're not able to at least come away with 3 points, well, that's really demoralizing. You just don't know how many opportunities you're going to get throughout the course of a ball game.
144 yards today for the Jets. So far in this half, off to a good start, but no points. Pass for Dwight. Nice catch, 1st down. Danielle Manning, the rookie safety, was there defending, and Tim Dwight, with that good quickness, made the catch, dragged his feet, 1st down.
Yeah, you know, I've always liked Tim Dwight. He's another one of the New England Patriot players that came here with Eric Mangini, but also played, you know, with the San Diego Chargers. He's always had a role within a system, and he's always played well when he's gotten his opportunities.
Handoff is to Washington. Tried to do as much as he could, and Washington loses 1. Lance Briggs in on the stop. 7.5 to go in the half. 2nd down and 11. Blitz from the Bears, and a toss to Washington, tripped up, and what a good play by the rookie Mark Anderson. He saved what might have been a big play as he knocked down Leon Washington.
Yeah, Mark Anderson, now he does what Alex Brown did not do earlier in the game. He's able to hold containment and makes a good play there on Leon Washington. Lance Briggs hits it right up inside. It looked like they had a good call on to get away from the pressure. But a good play by the rookie Mark Anderson. And they're having to go backwards, whereas a skilled defensive end rusher is getting to run forward.
Right now the Jets are going backward. 3rd down and 24. Hand off to Washington. The crowd won't like it. Instead of trying to take a bigger bite out of the 24 yards they needed for the 1st down, a gain of only 5, and the Bears with job here with the Jets. Talking to the offensive line while the Bears take over, and the pass is complete to the fullback McKee, good for only 3 yards. It was Brian Thomas on the stop for New York. Offense today, there hasn't been much of it, although one possession was a good one for the Jets. Going down the field, it resulted in the Urlacher interception in the end zone.
Yeah, so far the Bears have done a little bit as far as running the football, not throwing the ball very well here in this 1st half.
2nd down and 7. Thomas Jones to the 35. He'll be 3 yards shy of a 1st down, and a late flag comes sailing in from the secondary, and it's going to be against the Bears. Probably one of 3 real good ones in the league. Keyshawn Johnson and Hines Ward are 2 others. 2nd down and 14. Pressure, a sack. It was Rhodes, and he pounded Rex Grossman back at the 15-yard line.
Well, last week they ran the ball here to Thomas Jones, and it was a big play in their win against the New York Giants. I'm sure they're going to run it here.
It is Thomas Jones again. This time, as the ball pops out, they're calling that a fumble, and the Jets have recovered. Thanksgiving will do that when the Bucs are in Dallas on Thursday. Handoff is to Brad Smith, former collegiate quarterback at Missouri, now a jack of all trades, picks up 6 on the carry.
Yeah, Brad Smith, I mean, he is a jack of all trades. He plays quarterback, wide receiver, and running back as a rookie within this offense. Most rookies can't learn one position. He's learned 3. Doesn't come as a complete surprise. They were saying that he's 12 credits shy of getting his master's in economics.
Second down and 4. Handoff is to Houston. And Cedric is wrapped up a yard shy of a 1st down by Urlacher. Picked up 3. Houston is the tailback behind Hodgins. And it's Houston here. And it's Houston not getting it. Back to the line of scrimmage. That is it. And the Chicago defense holds. And the Bears will take a timeout, one of their 2 remaining.
You know, the Bears got into their famed Buddy Ryan 46 defense. There's Hunton Hillenmeyer. He comes in on the linebacker along with Charles Tillman outside, but they stacked the line of scrimmage. Todd Johnson's able to come in and make the play. He's unblocked, but
See New England with a 21-0 lead over Green Bay. And one thing we haven't talked about is we were watching on another monitor Donovan McNabb being carted off in the Eagles game against Tennessee. Grossman fires, and it's Clark with his first catch, brought down by Coleman immediately, a gain of 2.
And you talk about injuries. I mean, obviously that's such a significant thing as far as the success of teams. The Bears losing Mike Brown, and then one game last week with Berrien, the only injuries for them all season.
That is out of the reach of Clark. And now the Jets are hoping for a hold on defense, get it back, and get a chance to get points. The Jets have 2 timeouts left.
You know, it's a fine line whenever you get in this situation. You want to be aggressive and try to move the ball and come away with points of your own. But when you come out and you don't get anything going and you're stopping the clock because of incompletions, now you give the opportunity for your opponent to have their chance before the end of the half.
3rd and 8. A blitz from the Jets. Grossman fires, and it is incomplete. Barrett had a chance for an interception. It went through his hands and to the turf. So far in this half, 10 total possessions, 9 punts, and 1 interception. And 1 big officials review. Here is a ball that is nearly picked off in the direction of Baker and off the hands of Lance Briggs, who almost stepped in front of it.
That was a dangerous throw there by Chad Pennington. It looked like Lance Briggs could have very easily gotten underneath that throw. Trying to work Chris Baker, who's their 3rd leading wide receiver.
2nd down and 10. Pennington in trouble, and down he goes. That's Anderson again. No gain on the play as Pennington gets back to the line of score.
But due to the way that the Jets have played, and it's a 0-0 ball game, I don't know if that was a good time for that.
Yeah, I agree with you. That caught everybody by surprise except for Chris Harris, and now Thomas Jones stays on his feet, forced out by Kerry Rhodes, an 18-yard run, and this whole second half could turn around on that onside kick try by the Jets.
Well, it's a game of momentum, and it's a game of momentum shifts, and by recovering that onside attempt, all of a sudden you give life into this Chicago offense that really didn't have a lot of it when the first half ended.
They stay with Thomas Jones, picks his way, and on first down picks up 4 yards. Kimo von Oelhoffen on the stop.
You know, I think when you talk about the fact that you may do something like that during the week leading up to the ball game, I mean, there's obviously risk involved. You're hoping that you get the recovery, but it's not a guarantee. You tell your defense, we're going to give the opponent great field position if we fail to recover that onside kick. Our defense has to step up and at least hold them to 3 points.
2nd down and 6. Jones again. Still a total of -1 passing yards for the Bears. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, that -1 yard passing, spotty run game, their defense struggling with the opponent's run game. Those are some of the areas that Lovie Smith hopes to see improvement in the second half. He said, we've weathered the storm, but we have to play much better in the second half. As for Eric Mangini, well, he's hoping for more of the same because he's loving his team's physical play. He's especially pleased with how they're playing the run. He says it's going to come down to turnovers, though, whether they get them or we do.
3rd down and 3. Hand off to Thomas Jones. Still going down inside the 5. 1st and goal from the 4.
You know, this is a type of running game that the Chicago Bears really excel at, and it's Thomas Jones downhill where he has the ability for any type of cutback lanes. He doesn't have to cut back there. He stays play side. And there's been some pretty good gashes on this possession for him to be able to run the football.
First down and goal from the 4. More from Thomas Jones. It goes nowhere.
You know, that onside kick is certainly going to be second guessed, and you know, I thought going in at halftime, when you consider where the Jets are in their season at 5-4, a big win on the road last week against the New England Patriots, to be able to be playing here at home against a team that's 8-1, clearly the best team in the NFC, and go toe-to-toe with them and actually should have had the lead. You know, that was a pretty risky move there to potentially take all the emotion right out of your team.
2nd down and goal. Can the Jet defense hold Chicago out of the end zone? They stiffen up again. It's 3rd and goal. It has been a Thomas Jones dominated possession. And for Eric Mangini to talk to Pam Oliver and talk about it's going to be a game where a turnover may decide it. It was like handing Chicago a turnover by trying the onside kick.
I do think, however, Joe, if this defense is able to stiffen up right here and hold them out of the end zone, I think that it could be something that serves the Jets well as far as emotionally. The fact that Mangini showed confidence and faith in his team by taking such a risk.
3rd down and goal. Hand off. Thomas Jones won't get there. And that's exactly what has happened as the defense facing a 1st and goal from the 4, tighten it down and hold Chicago out of the end zone.
Well, they just again try to come off tackle. Reuben Brown, the left guard, pulling, but he gets knocked out to where he's not able to lead the way. He was supposed to be the offensive lineman leading the way for Jones. A great job right there by this New York Jet defense.
But we are staring at the first points of the day as Gold, who has made 25 straight, is on to try what is basically an extra point. 20-yard try, and it's 3-0 Chicago. So the Jets dodge the bullet in one sense. They try the onside kick. Harris is there for Chicago. The defense holds Chicago out of the end zone, but the Bears finally strike first in the first half. A lot of short underneath throws. The Jets start the second half by running it with Barlow. And he picks up half a yard.
Yeah, you look at the numbers and where he has thrown the ball. Not a lot unlike it is each and every week, but with only one attempt over 20 yards, and granted, the deep ball is not Chad Pennington's strength. I do think that when you're playing the Bears, at times you've got to give yourself an opportunity to make some plays, because it is hard to move the ball if you're not getting big chunks.
Stretch that defense out a little bit. They are clamped down on the Jets now, 2nd down and 9. Showing blitz, they come with it. Hillenmeyer, the pass to Coles, makes a move. Crosses the 35 by just a bit. Nathan Vasher on the stop, a gain of 6. Manning in on the tackle as well, 3rd and 3.
And that's a lot of what we've seen today, the underneath throws, especially out there wide to Lavernius Coles. But today, the Bears have really done a good job of tackling. I talked about it a little bit earlier in the ball game. Nathan Vasher, Charles Tillman, those guys do a good job bringing receivers down after they make the catch.
A blitz from the Bears. Pennington on 3rd down has a man. Pass is caught. Kotchery inside Chicago territory, brought down at the Bear 42.
They're going to bring Lance Briggs here in the middle, but Leon Washington does a great job of picking it up and giving Chad Pennington time. Then they lay it out there to Jericho Kotchery, a big receiver. A ball that's thrown somewhat behind him, but he's able to make the play. Typically, a rookie running back struggles in pass protection. Leon Washington doing a good job on that play.
Play clock down to 1, and Baker, the tight end, makes the catch. Tillman throws him down, a gain of 4.
Go back and take a look at what happens here. It's a pick play between the two receivers, Jericho Kotchery, and then you got Lavernius Coles, and he's trying to just scrape right here on Ricky Manning. He's able to do it. It's illegal to run the pick play, but what you try to do as an offensive player is make it appear that you're trying to run a route. The officials know what you're doing, but unless it's obvious, you don't get the call.
What's the screen, man?
The Jets have moved the ball better on the Chicago defense than the Bears have on the Jets defense. Handoff is to Washington, and he is wrapped up, brought down by Alex Brown. No gain.
That's a good play by Alex Brown. Leon Washington, if he was able to get through that, he's probably running for another 10-15 yards.
Brings up 3rd down and 7. Pennington throws, the pass complete. Coles first down at the 25.
Tell you, this offensive line really does a great job on this play, as they have throughout the day, picking up the twist, giving Chad Pennington a clean pocket to step up and make the throw. Lavernius Coles finds the hole in the zone. Just good execution. The Jets have been pretty good all day on 3rd down.
Hand off to Washington. Leon the line of scrimmage. Jets are inside field goal range for the moment. The pass picked off. Vasher with the interception. Pennington threw it up as he went down. Alex Brown with pressure on Chad Pennington, and the pass is picked off. Looking for the tight end Baker, a collision with Washington. The interception, second of the day by Pennington, and another turnover picked up by this Bear defense. First down Chicago as they take over after the Vasher interception, and Thomas Jones picks up 3.
You know, go back and take a look. DeBrickashaw Ferguson is going to act like the ball's being run here and then come back and peel on it and block Alex Brown. The problem is that by the time he turns, Alex Brown already has the corner. Chad Pennington doesn't have time to see where it was he was trying to throw the ball, throws it up to avoid the sack.
But they have not been able to throw the ball at all. 2nd and 12. The pass is incomplete. Throw too low for Bradley. Third down and 12.
You know, they brought Eric Barton up inside, but the Bears do a good job picking that up. You know, Rex Grossman, it looked like he had the time, and he certainly had a wide open Mark Bradley to put the ball into his hand. Tell right now, Rex Grossman just has not been able to get into any type of rhythm in this ball game.
Pass for Muhammad is perfect, and Muhsin Muhammad has a first down inside Jet territory. Knocked down at the 46, a 28-yard completion, and the best throw of the day from Rex Grossman.
Well, it sure was. And Muhsin Muhammad, I mean, this is really one of his strengths. Look at him go up for the ball and make a play on it when it's in the air. You know, a lot of wide receivers get a little nervous about extending their arms up when they think they may take a shot. But he was able to get in there and make the play without getting nailed by Eric Smith.
Andre Dyson injured on the play. We'll take a break. Dyson able to walk off under his own power after being shaken up on that last play, trying to set up a screen, and it's not there from McKee. Grossman fires it at his fullback's feet. 2nd and 10. Let's go to Chris Rose standing by with a game break.
All right, Joe, down in Tampa Bay, we're tied at 10 after Bruce Gradkowski to Joey Galloway to Anthony Beck, the former Jet on the ricochet for his first TD of the year, and we're tied at 10. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Chris, thank you. And it's the debut of Jason Campbell.
Oh, Chris Rose does a good job on that, doesn't he?
Very good job. Good to hear his voice. 2nd down and 10 with 3:55. Thomas Jones over 100 yards on the day, and Jones picks up 4 over the left side. Go back before the injury, Troy. That was a big completion of 28 yards from Grossman to Muhammad on a 3rd down and 12 play.
Yeah, and it's the first time that they've been able to get the ball down the field themselves. The first completion over 20 yards in this ball game for Rex Grossman.
There's under 3.5 to go in the 3rd quarter already. 3rd and 6. Quick throw, pass is complete. Bradley a yard shy of a first down. Good tackle by David Barrett. He needed 6. He got 5. And it's 4th down.
You know, you see back here, no safety in the middle of the field. The Jets are just selling out. They're going to bring everybody match up on the outside. If you're able to break a tackle there, then you're going all the way for a touchdown. But a good tackle by Eric Coleman.
The Bears will go for it on 4th and 1 in that in-between yardage. Have to get it to the 36. Handoff is to Jones, and he picks it up easily. Thomas, for the 4th time in his last 6 games, is over 100 yards. He adds to it with 4 yards on 4th and 1. First down, Chicago.
You know, Thomas Jones, he missed most of the offseason work. He was in a contract holdout. And then when he got to training camp, he tweaked his hamstring. And it's just now starting to really feel a lot better. He started off very slow this season, has run the ball more effectively the last couple of games. But this today is the best he has run the ball all year.
Grossman ran over to the sideline to get that play. Bears race to the line, set it up, and the pass is knocked down. Rhodes got his hands up. He was coming on a blitz.
I tell you, it's the ubiquitous Kerry Rhodes. I mean, this guy's been all over the field today. Every time you turn around, he's been around the action. He's come up the middle, he's coming off the edge here, and he gets a hand on the ball and keeps them from being able to complete the pass.
Now it's 2nd down and 15.
You know, so much of what the Jets do with their secondary players, whether it's Kerry Rhodes or Eric Coleman, they're interchangeable in what they can do. And that's the type of defense that Eric Mangini wants.
Grossman 1 for 7 against the blitz, and this one is too high for Rashid Davis. 3rd down and 15. Hank Poteet, an extra defensive back, was there for the Jets.
We've seen so much blitzing, not only last week, but then here again today by the New York Jets. And Eric Mangini likes to say that on each time you bring a blitz, someone's band is going to be playing. And he said early in the season when we'd bring the blitz, the other team's band was playing. And just recently, they've started to make it work for them.
On 3rd and 15, the pass behind Muhammad. Had a little space between himself and Justin Miller.
No, not necessarily. I mean, even if they vote for us not to give it out, doesn't mean we got to listen to them.
It's true. Spent a lot on the construction of that trophy.
I mean,
be a shame to get rid of it. Pennington sets up and throws high for Lavernius Coles as the Jets have their worst starting field position of the day, backed up at their own 11. And here it is in all its glory, all polished up with the lights glistening off the helmet of the Galloping Gobbler. And on Thanksgiving Day, when we hit the air at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, someone at the end of that game, if voting continues the way it's gone, will get that award. Handoff underneath to Cedric Houston. It'll be 3rd down and long. By the way, Tommy Harris has been in the locker room receiving IV fluids as the Jets have had this up-tempo offense, and so far for Pennington, 11 of 17 with 2 interceptions. 1 to Urlacher and 1 to Vasher. 3rd and 9. Pass is out of the reach of Kachary. And this crowd getting a little restless.
Coaching profession, and here he is at 35, head coach of the Jets.
Done a great job in his first year here with New York. Benson carries it, picks up 4. 2nd down for the Bears. Good work by each defense. A failed onside kick and a couple of Jets turnovers on 2 Pennington interceptions. That's the day. Grossman fires and completes. Bradley into the open field. Being chased by Hobson, won't get him. Touchdown. Mark Bradley is good from 57 yards, and the Chicago Bears score the first touchdown of the day.
Well, they've been able to get away with it throughout the game as far as bringing pressure and leaving your corners out there on an island. When you do that, you've just got to be able to make the tackle. And that time, Drew Coleman was unable to make the tackle on Mark Bradley. Well, here's Mark Bradley. They just run a curl route. As you're going to see, the ball gets placed on him. And then right there, you got to make the tackle. Drew Coleman slips. But there's no safety to help. There's no safety in the middle of the field. There's no safety helping Drew Coleman on that side of the field. So as a receiver, once you make someone miss, then if you've got the speed, which Mark Bradley has, it's enough to get you all the way into the end zone. You don't, as a quarterback, drop back and throw 8-yard routes, expecting that they're going to be going for 60-yard touchdowns.
Yeah, and so let's say this. Grossman celebrates. That's got to be a relief for Rex Grossman that day between the Saints and New York. Here are the Jets down 10-0, taking over at their own 26. Pennington drops it off for Washington. And Leon is hit by the big body of Urlacher, a gain of 6.
Oh, man. I mean, Brian Urlacher, we talk about his speed and his range from sidelines to sidelines, but as we saw there, generally when he shows up, he's packing a pretty good wallop, too. I don't know if TV does it justice, just as how hard he got hit.
Opening minute of the fourth quarter, it's 2nd down and 4 for the Jets. Pennington fires, completes to Coles, and Lavernius is out across the 40 to the 43, 1st down. Another short throw from the Jets, and here is Urlacher after that hit on Washington.
Yeah, I tell you, he is a great player. I mean, you feel bad even having to say that, but I think there are still some people out there that question him, but no one in football does.
Washington almost fell down as he made his break to the outside. Brown is out there for Chicago. A gain of 2. And just to finish the thought on Grossman, there have been some who have called him a gunslinger. It's not really needed with the Chicago team the way it's constructed. They've got a defense they can ride. They've got very good special teams. Control the football, hang on to it, don't turn it over, move the ball a little bit, and this Bear team's going to be tough to beat.
And I think that's what they try to talk to him about during the weeks leading up to ball games. But I will say that here this year, they're so much improved offensively than where they ever were a year ago.
No question. 2nd down and 8. A blitz. Pennington fires low. He had Briggs right in his face. And the throw skipped in to Lavernius Coles. 3rd down. Look at what New England is doing to Green Bay, taking it out on Brett Favre and the Packers 28-zip.
Now here's the pressure on Chad Pennington and Lance Briggs. He's been coming up the middle a lot. You try to go low and block on him. Leon Washington does, and it's enough to, I don't know if he got a hand on the ball or not, but it was enough there that kept Pennington from being able to get enough on the ball for the completion.
It's 3rd and 8. A blitz from Manning. Washington picked it up, but the pass incomplete. Lavernius Coles, the intended receiver. Manning was coming off the corner. Leon Washington at least saved Chad Pennington a big headache.
And I don't think Chad Pennington realized that Leon Washington was going to pick up Manning, because when he slides here, now he has time to make a little bit of a better throw.
Rex Grossman coming off that 57-yard touchdown throw to Bradley. A 10-point Chicago lead. And a handoff to Cedric Benson. They'll try the right side and pick up 2. Some of the key injuries today. Brett Favre leaving with an arm injury. It obviously remains to be seen if that consecutive game streak will continue next week. Donovan McNabb being carted off with the knee injury, and Marcus Colston, a hot rookie for the Saints, an ankle injury.
Well, and obviously the Eagles are not the same team. They've shown that in previous years when Donovan McNabb has been injured, most recently last year. The thing that they did do this year, however, was they addressed the backup position. Jeff Garcia will now be playing. A guy who's been a Pro Bowl player, has won a lot of games in this league.
2nd down and 8 for Chicago. Benson again. Not much. The Jets want a 3 and out and get some good field position as the play is blown dead after a 1-yard gain. So there have been the hiccups with the big turnover games, but he has not done that today. 11 and a half to go in this game. And the handoff is to McKee, the fullback. Picks up 2. Let's go to Chris Rose, who is standing by with a game break. Chris.
All right, Joe, you know, Brian Billick, 3-0 since he took over the offensive coordinator duties. That guy should get a raise. Jamal Lewis with 2 touchdowns today. First time in the last 35 games he's scored more than 1, and the Ravens up 7 on the Falcons. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
If he gets something better than a raise, he gets to keep his job.
Start there. Yeah. Then ask for more money. 2nd and 8. A blitz from the Jets. Bears pick it up. Grossman fires for Berrien, caught, and a penalty flag has been thrown on the play. It's a hold against Chicago.
All-pro center that was called on the play. He's going to be right here in the middle. He's working against Dwayne Robertson. Well, I don't know. I tell you what, if they make that call, they can make that call pretty much on every play. I'll tell you, I'll go back to the penalty on Rashad Moore. The Bears were getting ready to face 3rd and long. And if they don't convert, which they've not been very good on 3rd downs today, they give the ball back to the Jets with good field position and a lot of time on the clock. That was a big penalty here in this 4th quarter.
So was the last one on Krutz. It negates a 21-yard completion to Berrien as Cedric Benson makes it to the 30, and that's it. 3rd and long coming up, a gain of 4. Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, watch the Emmy Award-winning smash hit House. All new at its new time. At time Tuesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Benson comes off. Adrian Peterson comes on. And it's 3rd and 14. Jets need a stop. Grossman with protection. Underneath to Peterson. Nowhere to go, and a punt coming from the Bears. A gain of 4. Brian Thomas there to make the stop for the Jets. As fluids. Jets have had a good pace to their offense, but have not picked up any points. Coming off a 3 and out, they set up, and Pennington underneath completes it. Briggs on the stop, and a gain on the play of 4. Cotchery on the catch for New York.
You know, I think you said it well, Joe. The pace has been good for the Jets because of this no-huddle offense that they've been running throughout the day. They're going to have to pick up the pace, and they're going to have to start getting some bigger chunks in their passing game.
Handoff is to Houston, and he breaks through for a 1st down, a gain of 8.
I think right now, with just under 8.5 minutes to play, I mean, they have to come away with some points on this possession, whether that's a touchdown or a field goal, that if they're unable to do that, I don't think they're going to have a chance to win this ball game.
They have a 1st down at the Chicago 47. Four-man rush, the pass complete. Lavernius Coles. Vasher had fallen down, and Coles has another 1st down.
You know, and the difference really, I mean, between the touchdown that Bradley was able to score, when you see Brian Urlacher, he makes Vasher miss, but when he makes him miss, you got Brian Urlacher running over there to the sidelines to make the play. I mean, this guy goes full speed sideline to sideline on every snap.
7.5 to play. It's Houston to the 30. You know what we can't lose sight of, Troy, and I know the Jets are hurrying it up. The reversal on that call on this end of the field, which may have taken points off the board eventually for the Jets. And then obviously the 2 turnovers.
That's right.
As Pennington has thrown 2 interceptions, one in the red zone in the Chicago end zone into the arms of Urlacher. On 2nd down, a quick throw to Cotchery. And there is nothing there. Hillenmeyer and Tillman. A loss of 2.
And then Tillman gave the old
jump shot.
Yeah, the jump shot that's become so popular around the NFL these days. But when you try to get the ball out here to these wide receivers, again, the Bears, and I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to outflank them as quickly as they can by getting the ball in their hands. But this defense pursues so well. It's just a very hard defense to run to the sidelines against.
Third down and 7. Pennington throws for the sideline out of the reach of Coles. And now a decision. You're right at the edge of field goal range for Nugent. It will be interesting to see what Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator for the Bears, dials up here. The ball at the Chicago 10, leading by 10. Thomas Jones is forced out of bounds by Victor Hobson. A gain of 4. We look back. Chad Pennington has thrown 2 interceptions. One in the Chicago end zone, the other flipped to Nathan Vasher. And then a 57-yard touchdown catch, more of a catch and run by Mark Bradley. And Urlacher's been doing his thing with his smiles and his hits and his 10 tackles and his 1 interception.
You know, he's one of those guys who just loves to play, and his energy is infectious to the rest of his teammates, and he has had a great game today.
2nd down and 7. Jones spins, stays on his feet, and picks up a big Chicago 1st down. Running hard is Thomas Jones. Vilma on the stop, and Ron Turner is keeping the ball on the ground, letting the game clock wind down. Chicago and the Jets each with 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, of course, Ron Turner, the younger brother of Norv Turner, who was my offensive coordinator there in Dallas, currently the offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. This is Ron's 2nd season as coordinator for the Chicago Bears. This time around, he had also been the offensive coordinator under Dave Wanstead several years ago, but he's done a great job with his unit.
See the Bears milking the play clock, letting as much time wind off the game clock as they can. And Jones for no gain. Let's go to Chris Rose for a game break.
Joe, if you didn't start Chad Johnson in your fantasy league the last 2 weeks, you should be dropped from the league. Carson Palmer finds Ocho Cinco. Get this, 15 catches, 398 yards, 4 scores, and 1 pulled hammy in the last 2 weeks. Bengals have a 7-point lead down in the Bayou. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Chris, thank you. And there's the day for Chad Johnson with his 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, the Saints trying to avoid their 2nd straight loss. We watched them drop one at Pittsburgh last week. Quick throw to Bradley, the completion, the 1st down. So Turner puts the ball in the hands of Rex Grossman. The Bears still haven't turned it over today. And that completion good for 10 yards and a 1st down to Mark Bradley. We look ahead to next week. Fox NFL Sunday will get underway at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And the day will point toward that big matchup in the 2nd half of our doubleheader. These Bears at New England should be a good game. Again, Grossman letting the play clock wind down. Hand off to Thomas Jones, runs into Vilma. Kimo von Oelhoffen, a gain of only 1.
Well, I know this is going to be a disappointing loss for the New York Jets, but I really think that they have a lot to be proud of. I mean, obviously a big win last week and the way that they've come in, and I think as good as they could feel and as proud as they could be, I really think that they're going to go home tonight if they do go on to lose this game, which it certainly looks like that's going to happen, knowing that they had an opportunity to beat a team that's the best in the NFC and give them their 2nd loss. It was just, as you mentioned a little earlier, Joe, about 3 or 4 plays that have decided this game so far.
The one I didn't mention, again, and we talked about it a lot at the time, Jets have to spend a timeout here, was the onside kick try at the beginning of the 2nd half. And Lee Evans, 246 yards. Quick throw, Bradley. And he is wrapped up after picking up a 1st down. And that could very well ice it for the Chicago Bears, up 2 scores. Jets with only 2 timeouts remaining, and that completion of Mark Bradley gives a fresh set of downs to Chicago.
Yeah, and there was contact made on Bradley well short of the 1st down if Barrett's able to make the tackle there. But again, Bradley able to make him miss and then pick up the 1st down. But I think it showed a lot of confidence that Ron Turner has in Rex Grossman, as he should. They're on 3rd down. Rather than run the ball, take time off the clock, force a timeout, punt, they try to pick up the 1st down and get it.
Should take us to the 2-minute warning. Cedric Benson out to the 45-yard line, and there are 2 minutes left in this game here at Giant Stadium. And it's 2nd down for Chicago with the ball at their own 45. 2nd and 7. And the Bears clamping it down, running the ball with Cedric Benson. And now the Jets will use their 2nd timeout. The offensive leaders, and there's the day for Grossman. Big part of it was the 57-yard catch and run for the touchdown by Mark Bradley, but What isn't listed there is what the Bears haven't done all day, and that is turn the ball over.
That's right, and that's something that has plagued this team throughout the last 4 or 5 ball games, and especially Rex Grossman in the games that the game they lost against Miami, obviously the turnovers that he had, and then also in the improbable win that they had against Arizona. But I do think that they're going to have to get more out of their passing game than what they got today, certainly, if they're going to go on and beat some of the better teams in this league.
On 3rd down and 9, Cedric Benson going to be a 1.5 yards shy of a first down, and the Jets will use their final timeout.
Whether that's the Giants, Eagles, or Cowboys, with the Eagles and McNabb going down, that may affect their chances.
Pennington fires too high for Lavernius Coles.
But I do think that the second best team in the NFC is going to come out of that division, and then for the Jets, I mean, your emotions and how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your team really goes week to week. Last week this team felt very good. Even right now at 5-5, this team's not out of it by any means, and they've got a pretty favorable schedule.
Penalty flag at the snap, and the pass is overthrown for Lavernius Coles again, and it's an offside against Chicago. They're next against Houston, at Green Bay, against Buffalo, at Minnesota, at Miami, against Oakland. All winnable games as Tim Dwight makes the catch, gets a first down for the Jets. They're out of timeouts.
And I think this game here is going to be looked upon much like what the Indianapolis game, how that game's looked upon, and then also the Cleveland game. And at 10-0, I mean, the offense didn't score any points. I understand that, but the turnover by Chad Pennington down in the red zone, I just think that this is a team who walks off the field knowing that once again it's a game they could have won, and that happens to a lot of teams in this league. But they've made a lot of progress from where they were a year ago.
Jets lost to Jacksonville 41-0 earlier in the year, so they're staring at a second shutout, this time at the hands of the Bears, and that one is dropped by Conchery. And those who remain here at Giant Stadium, their frustration continues. And again, in the first half, there was a big reversal on a call on the field on what could have been a fumble recovery. Jets taking over at the Chicago 35 in a scoreless game. And then the onside kick try that was recovered by Chris Harris and the Bears. And Chicago took advantage of that and turned it into the first 3 points of the afternoon. And the touchdown belongs to Bradley. Tim Dwight underneath the catch, and he can't get away from Vasher. And with just over a minute to go, it will be 4th down for the Jets at their own 40. 4th down and 2. Pass is caught by Dwight for a first down, so at least the offense stays on the field from around the league.
And because of these yards that the Jets are picking up here, they're close to going over 300 yards, and it'd be the first time an offense was able to do that against the Chicago Bears this season.
And Pennington goes down. The clock will continue to wind. Ogunleye, who grew up in Staten Island, and he is injured. Good enough here today, riding that defense. Pennington throws to the sideline and out of the reach of McCarrons, who does not have a catch today, and it's 4th and 16. Miami beating Minnesota. The struggles for the Vikings continuing, and the good play of the Dolphins continues, and this little run that they've been on started against Chicago.
Yeah, something about Miami. They got on that run last year at the end of the season, and a lot was expected of them coming into the year, and then they got off to the tough start. But now, yeah, they've been able to put some wins together, and they may find themselves in the mix before it's all over.
4th down and 16 for Pennington. And he throws it out of the reach of Coles.
And the Jets weren't able to get the ball down the field and create any big plays throughout the day.
Troy, it's going to be fun next Sunday to watch This Bears team and the defense take on Tom Brady and the New England Patriots at Foxborough. The Jets are now a 500 club at 5-5. The Bears are 9-1. Another good defensive day for Brian Urlacher and the Chicago defense, #1 in the NFL. Take a break and come back. 10-0. The Bears win it.